got Al D300
300
in the green room, y'all. Man, it's one of my favorite guests. The nigga that's gonna talk that talk, man.
Hey.
Man, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. I ain't loving it. Move to Houston, man. We here.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get it.
Originally from Longview, Texas. You know, East Texas. But you've been in the Houston rap scene, making your waves and doing your thing for a little minute now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Al D300, like I said, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Lyrical, dope, somebody who's championed by a lot of H-Town rap legends.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Somebody who spent collectively, years-wise, almost half of his life incarcerated.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
I still get embarrassed when people say that shit.
But I'm not saying that.
No, you ain't saying it like that. But it's just it's boy to recognize and realize, like, God damn, man, it's true, man. It's just a true story, man.
For
19
sure.
And I can't even lie and say like I did 19 years. You know, I did 7 years. I got out and then I went back. So I, crashing out. I know all about it.
No, for sure. But even with that being said, the testimony of your shake back, you've been from your last bid, you've been out for about 3 years.
Yep, 3 years.
Man, you've been tearing it up with the albums, your catalog, your work ethic, your hustle, and I'm ready to get into it, man. I like that.
Blessed, for sure.
Man, okay, Longview, Texas, East Texas, Houston, Texas. I want to get straight into some understanding on the Texas rap business. I want to see how you think and how you feel about certain stuff.
Texas rap business?
Yes, sir.
What in particular?
What do you think about it? Like when you see Houston, Dallas, Austin, you see the stuff that happens in the media, the blogs, the type of music that's coming out. What is your overall opinion of Texas rap game right now?
The understanding really is so fucking cloudy, and it's a lot of misinformation out there. And sometimes when you don't have the right information, you can be going about shit in a crazy ass fucked up way. Like, one of the chief problems in Texas on some hip hop shit is that we fail to recognize where the standard is set at. The standard to hip hop in Texas is set and stamped in Houston. So when you from fucking, Austin, West Texas, Dallas, or whatever, like when you don't recognize that, then you can grind in your own way and you can get a name, but when you don't pay homage, when you don't, align yourself correctly, that's just like being from fucking Savannah, Georgia, or some shit like that. Man, somebody in Savannah, Georgia knows that they need to get popping in motherfucking Atlanta, man. They know they need to get over there to Atlanta. Jeezy is from Macon, Georgia. Right. You know what I'm saying? He knew, man, I got to get to AT. Everybody knows this type of shit. So some kind of way in Texas, niggas act like they don't want to recognize the fact of, man, I need to really build my rap alliances up in H-Town and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So I can have a career that has longevity to it. Because where is the place in Texas where there's careers that have longevity? It's H-Town only. Yeah. It's only H-Town. There is no other place. You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't you commune and build bonds with the ones right here that have done it and proven it, and kind of solidify your shit with them and gain that what they call institutional knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Gain that institutional knowledge. But it just seems niggas is just too dumb to do that. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you feel
and a nigga was raised on this shit. Like we was all raised on H-Town music in some way, form, or fashion. Like, if Drake know that he gotta come down here, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that and you from fucking East Texas or wherever? Why wouldn't you do it?
Houston definitely has some of the most rich history in the rap game nationwide. Yeah. Without a fact.
It's the third largest city in America, #1.
Yeah.
It's in the top 2 it's in the top 3 rap regions. Top. It ain't, how many rap regions is it? 10?
Probably.
Maybe 10, 11 rap regions. And you start talking about, okay, New York, Atlanta, LA.
Yeah.
Houston, right?
So you feel like, okay, outside of Houston, but in the state of Texas, you feel like a lot of people are in denial that you need a stamp from Houston in order to really reach a certain level?
I'm gonna put it like this, cause I know how they gonna take it, you know. When you talking about, is it some exceptions to the rule? Yes, it's some exceptions to the rule, but they are exceptions to the rule. Meaning like Houston done produce this many, you know, people with their own careers and, you know, rap careers, longevity, on different levels of the top level of superstar rappers from the Travis Scotts and, you know, Megan Thee Stallions and shit like that, to the up from people that are from independent rappers up to getting signed, like the O&B Bloodbaths, Maxo Creams and people like that, to the niche artists that have their own niche, like Les, you know what I'm saying, and people like that, all the way down to people with their own lanes, like Beat King. Not to say all the way down, I'm just saying every level of rap artists, to legendary rappers, to big, well-known hood rappers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on now. This is a rap-ass city. And people be doing their thing in cities that are not necessarily just rap really related like that. And they keep they'll tell you some shit like, you ain't got to do that, or, yeah, I'm going to do mine right here, da-da-da-da. You got to start looking at, well, why you ain't popping like, I mean, why your city ain't just birthing people like that? You know what I'm saying? And it ain't because everybody just need to work together and all that, the shit that people be lying about. It's just, man, this city right here got, if hip hop only been around 50 years, 50.
Yeah.
35 of those, New York got all 50 years.
Yeah.
LA got 40 of them years. Houston got 38 of them motherfucking years, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that timeline. Like, I would say prior to Houston, you know, so not to discredit any, because people was doing their thing.
No, we ain't talking. I'm talking about consistent work by lots of people working towards establishing themselves in hip hop in a certain region, city, or town.
Okay.
Come on, man. Houston is like, it got a lot of years in the game, and that type of shit creates culture, creates bond, creates motherfuckers fucking with your shit by and large and nationally and shit like that. Man, they got 38 years or some shit like that out of the 50, man. That's the reason why there's, you know, all of these different level and manner of artists.
Yeah.
That right there, you know what I'm saying, plays a big role. They always talk about the J Princes and the you know, bosses like him that paved the way in a national way. But you also got, what about P. Chevy? What about Jam Down? What about Rick Shop? This is the home of independent rap collectives and labels, man. You got a lot of niggas that done this shit years and years ago. There's institutional knowledge and shit right here. Come on, man. I'm talking about success. We ain't talking about, wait a minute, man, my homeboy started some shit, you know, in my hometown. And no, I'm talking about just like years and years of like success, you know. So, you know, to me, it's a dumb point to argue, but I know people like to argue it though.
It's definitely a path that has been paved, especially along the independent music hustle. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I interviewed Slim 400. I was one of the last people to interview him before he died.
Rest in peace.
Definitely. And good dude too. Mm-hmm. In his interview, you know, he said,
I look at Houston as a market to where we can learn. Like, everybody around the world, you know what I'm saying? Period. That is how it is.
No, that's
you beef, you feel me? But who can put certain shit to the side and look for the better, you know what I'm saying? Look for longevity. And that's how I feel y'all did it, to where it opened us as LA niggas or East Coast niggas, you know what I'm saying? Down South niggas, like, damn, they getting it together, why can't we? And I looked at that years ago, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's 2021 right now. So that shit happened years ago. But I'm just saying, from that, it just triggered me like, a nigga gonna have to be a boss and like make shit happen and bring shit together.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that, and I think here's the other part. There's lots of people from around the country, they move here.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
For that reason.
True.
From the ESTGs to the CJ casinos to the, how many? I mean, NBA Youngboy. I mean, like people move here. To Master P moved here in his prime.
50 Cent.
50 Cent moved here. That just kind of let you know, like.
Yeah, it's a lot of space and opportunity in Houston.
Man, this is the place. If you got hip hop in your blood, if this is something that you're trying to pursue, if this is, this is just one of the meccas of this shit. One of the hubs of this game is H-Town. So if you can make it here, if you can become something here, you got a good chance of making it worldwide, If nothing else, you can be able to support yourself with music here. A lot of other people know that. A lot of people know that shit.
No, for sure.
But there's some people in these different towns, cities, and otherwise in this state, they seem to they don't really understand this shit.
For sure.
Man,
I agree with you too. When you really look at it, even from a creativity standpoint and style and uniqueness, Houston has always had something to contribute to hip hop culture as a whole.
Well, see, now that's where I may veer a little bit different. There's talent all over Texas.
Right.
There's talent everywhere. That's not the issue. Is not talent. The issue is opportunity.
And Houston got it.
Acceptance. Like, man, you could be the hottest rapper in Jacksonville, Texas. How much is it really worth to be that? How much is it worth to be the biggest rapper in Lufkin or Nacogdoches? You know what I'm saying? I'm from East Texas. I love it. I'm talking about real game, though, so you can understand. Just be smart about what you're doing. And if you the coldest basketball player, the place where you show that shit at is the NBA.
Yeah.
You can be the coldest nigga in the park, and we ain't gonna talk about that.
A good point.
This is one of the places, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that many teams. What's the teams? Miami, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, the Midwest.
Yeah.
We talking about 10 teams?
Just about. About. You right on point. I want to ask you this though. New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago, when you speaking of rap business, independent rap hustle, and having an OG footprint to kind of usher the new talent of today in, there are very few cities like that. Houston is one of them. New York is one of them.
But the other cities, a lot of these other cities have Def Jam in them. They got 300 in them.
Right.
If the goal of music is to change your situation, for the most part, to use your talent and creativity to change your situation, man, if you from Harlem, you got
a better opportunity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You gonna walk down the street, it's got plenty, record labels and shit like that. But when you really want to touch the people and be around, you know what I'm saying. Houston is the place where you can have longevity.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So becoming somebody here should be the goal of, or should be a part of the playbook for artists that's trying to come up out of this city, up out of the state of Texas.
For sure. Man, a lot of people believe because of the way the internet works that you can actually blow up from any town now. Not to discredit what we were saying about Houston. But,
you can.
But do you think at where we at in rap, throughout the course historically of rap, we'll ever get to a point where it will be another city like that, another LA?
They always bringing cities in.
But
I forgot when I was naming the teams.
Yeah.
Memphis is a team.
Right.
As well. They're always bringing somebody in.
Memphis, even before rap, has a history of music like.
Well, when you're talking about hip hop, you talking about that. When you get to about that 30-year mark, you start to have a little bit different level of power.
Yeah.
As far as game wise of being able to create somebody.
And opportunities
it's just like we all gotta collectively pay our dues, and then we can become, before you get to before we get to a Dolph, before we get to a Glorilla and people like that, There is a 8 Ball and MJG. There is what's the homies, Juicy J and them, you know. Before them, there's the Player Flies.
Yeah.
And so it's when you get off into them Player Flies and shit, now you're talking about 87, 1980s. So when you get up 87s, 94s, 98, 99, I'm talking about, you know, collaboration and people working together. Then once you get to 2022,
yeah,
now you got motherfucking me. You had the Dolphs, and you got now we can do this shit, Moneybag Yo's and blah blah blah. And it's the same when you go back to Houston and you start tracking this shit. This shit go back to 81, 80.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's how you start to be a city that can, you know, because it don't matter necessarily about the size. It matters about how much collective energy that we done put into it as a city as a whole. And some of these places that we from in the state of Texas, I'm gonna keep it to that.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't put that much of a long lasting effort into that shit. And so, you know, you gotta judge it like that. I believe that Dallas, Fort Worth, people like that have over the last 15 years, 20 years maybe, have been putting in a concerted effort. You know what I'm saying? And in the next 10 years, maybe 11 years or 10 to 15 years, then places like DFW and shit like that can become more known for like churning them out and they can catch a vibe.
One thing that caught me in what you was just saying was when you said maybe. Mm-hmm. You said maybe. You feel like it's not for sure that them cities can actually produce on that level, or
no, they can, okay. Because the proof is in there some kind of way this shit sprouted a Mo 3. Yeah. This shit done sprouted a Yellow Beezy. It's done sprouted those are the signs that you that it's starting to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because of the time period starts to get shorter between the artists. And next thing you know, it's like, damn, and then shit be popping off at one time type shit. Like, you know, and then it might go cold a little bit, but it's just, then it come back. You know what I'm saying? It's just cycles, but eventually your cycle brings more than 3 people. It brings 2, 3, 4, and then before a year is out and before a 3-year term, you got like a nucleus who starts to put out people, and next thing you know, they start to proliferate. And then you got the ones that's way under that start to blossom up under the whole that mushroom of what y'all been putting out. Then you start having niggas on different levels of the rap shit. You know what I'm saying? That's doing their thing. That in Houston, we living inside of that fully. You know, it like I say, it's every level of this shit down here. Yeah. Every level. You know what I'm saying? Comfortably so. Nobody's like, you know. No, comfortably so. There's Kyle Waynes, Bleeders, J-Dogs. There's people on that level. There's people that's, you know, the Boss legendary figures. That's a class. Do you understand? No, what other city got a class of legends? Like a class of legends that can usher you in, do different shit. Then you got the new up and coming rappers with their own cliques. You got the TSF and shit like that. That's like, okay, and I'm stamping niggas and we got a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy, bro. Man, it can be done here.
The blueprint is definitely in Houston for sure.
Yeah.